Hello, I am Bishop Earl Boyea of the Diocese of Lansing. During this Holy Easter season, I invite you to join me for some brief reflections on 7 words of the risen Lord. May they help to open our hearts so that burning within us, they will welcome the Lord of glory. Even though most likely a relative of Jesus, Cleopas did not recognize him. Though completely unsubstantiated by the text, I like to think that the other person traveling with Cleopas from Jerusalem to Emmaus was his wife, Mary, sister to Mary, the mother of Jesus. She, in fact, had seen the empty tomb that morning. St. Luke tells us that these 2 disciples looked downcast as they were walking along. Who wouldn't look downcast? Their leader, the one they thought to be the Messiah, had just been executed, hung on a tree. St. Paul, in his letter to the Galatians, reminds his readers, "Cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree." Not only was their dream dead, it seemed to have been nailed in a coffin. Who could possibly believe in and follow a cursed man? Jesus then appears and wants to know all about their conversation, and so walks with them. He invites them to open their grief to Him, to share with Him their sorrow, disappointments, and pain. The story that follows moves these 2 disciples from disbelief to belief, changing their pointless conversation into a new conversation full of meaning. For Jesus does what He always does. He helps them to see that God's ways are not our ways. Jesus knows that we are slow of heart, so He patiently helps us to read the Old Testament texts that foresaw all that had happened and that it was necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into His glory. Later, Cleopas and his wife remembered how their hearts burned inside them as Jesus opened the Scriptures for them. Jesus always wants to break things open, just as He broke open the tomb that now remained empty. He can take our weak conversations, our dead ends, our hopelessness, and by breaking them open, we are able to see that God has been at work all along the way. Our eyes and ears can become so focused on whatever catches them that we lose sight of the big picture, the really important picture. The risen one would have us not look downcast, but look up. Cleopas and his wife Mary were finally blessed when Jesus broke open the bread, and then finally their eyes were fully opened. My brothers and sisters, Jesus is always with us. He can break open the Scriptures. He can break open the Eucharist. He can break open our eyes and ears. He can break open even tombs. He can break open our lives. Why should we continue to walk in darkness with our eyes cast downward? He calls to us, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will give you light."